Oh, it's you again. Hi, I'm Marc, an art teacher, a professional artist, and in this episode of my weekly series that I'm creatively calling YouTube Art School, I'm going to be designing a new original character for my project, my personal project, Chroma Island. I'll demo the entire process and then you are going to be drawing my new character in your style if you want to. Because we just hit 500,000 subscribers on the channel. Nice. And it's time for Draw This in Your Style challenge. I'll share my favorites in a future video so that hundreds of thousands of people can check out your art. Let's get started. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun today. So I've never really worked on an original character, something that I can kind of reuse in the future. Most of my characters, they've been original, but they're always kind of one-offs. I draw them once and then they're never seen again. Today, however, is going to be different. This character that we'll be designing today will likely take up a more important role in the world of Chroma Island. Now, the details about that, not really important, but it's a personal project of mine that I've been working on in the last couple of years, slowly but surely fleshing out the world. Now I kind of want to focus on the characters a little bit more. Anyways, I'm thinking that this character might be one of the main characters, so very important. Anyways, if you want to find more about the project, I'll put links down in the description below, but the main reason is simply that I have kind of context for the design. I already have a little bit of a background story, so this is going to help, but it's just the starting point. There's a lot to figure out still, so enough chatting, let's get to work. The first item on the menu when it comes to designing characters is body proportions. Is it going to be a human, a dwarf, an elf, an ogre, a giant? In my case, it's a member of the Crimson Tribe, a powerful group on Chroma Island. They're basically superhumans, similar shape and size, but much stronger, and they're a tribe of fighters. What I'm working on now is a female character that I'm calling Miso. The Crimson Tribe character designs take some influence from the Japanese culture, hence her name. My kids are half Japanese, so we're starting close to home here. Anyways, her body proportions are going to be pretty standard, more towards a heroic physique, but still relatively normal. In terms of character development, she's at the starting line. She's got much to learn, and she hasn't yet reached her full potential. She's got something special about her, a hidden power that she's unaware of. But if we think of her in terms of levels, she's like level 5 out of 100. She's not a noob, but kinda. By the way, if you want to see how I construct my female bodies, I made a video explaining the process recently. Check it out in the description. And now I'm pretty much done with her basic proportions. I always start with a naked body to make sure that everything is structured correctly before slapping the armor on. And I recommend you do the same. It's a better process. Less likely to have to fix the anatomy later when it's all or partially covered, and when it's a bigger deal, requiring more time. Instead, spend a little extra at the beginning. It'll save you time in the long run. So with a main character, I felt like it was also important that I show some range of her facial expressions that she might make. So here we go. I'm just going to draw a few here, summarizing her personality as best as I can. Like I said, I rarely flesh out characters this much, but I felt like it would help you and myself understand what she's like if I drew some of her usual faces. I'll draw only 4 faces, so even though she's obviously got a bigger range of emotions than that, those are her staple faces that she'll usually make 70 to 80% of the time. So what's her personality? Well, while doing regular tasks in the tribe, she's pretty easygoing. She's a bit dense though, not stupid, but she doesn't really get jokes. She's got a pleasant personality. She's friendly, she laughs easily, and she makes a good friend. But when she's fighting, she's very different. She's cocky and easily angered, and she'll hold a grudge until she's got her revenge. There's a lot of conflict between the different tribes on Chroma Island, and so she's lost a number of her friends, and basically her whole life situation is that she wants to get back at those responsible. So she's constantly trying to get stronger, to the point that she can be a little bit reckless. And well, the main reason I'm thinking about all of this stuff is simply that having a good background story really helps develop a character. So her personality is going to impact things like how she stands, the types of poses that she'll take, the different kinds of interactions that she's going to have, also how she dresses and the different types of accessories that she's going to wear. All of this is a huge help when it comes to the actual design of the character. Character concept, character design is all about generating ideas. And so I'm just trying to avoid looking at my canvas, my blank canvas, and having no idea what to do. The more context you have, the better. Now that the main character is mostly fleshed out, it's time to dress her up and figure out what she's going to be wearing here. So I already have a little bit of a hint, you know, so I kind of like this shape here for the shoulder. So these characters, most of the tribe that she's in are kind of top heavy in their design. And so I'm going to be following the same thing here. So big armor on the shoulders, and then have kind of all that mass taper down to basically her body width. Now, her along with everybody in her tribe, they don't really need armor. It's mostly just for show, because they have the power, the ability to manifest their life energy, whatever it's called, into objects. And so what she's holding right now, like this big comb. Oh, and also I just noticed, but it kind of makes a bunch of M's here. Nice. But that weapon is just her own energy, so it's not a physical thing. It's just kind of like the blade of a lightsaber. So she can use her powers to conjure something or use it as a shield almost. And so when she's fighting, she's able to kind of cover herself in that kind of energy, acting as like a shield. Anyways, another thing to keep in mind is that she's a noob. She's pretty low level still, so that armor is going to be pretty basic. She kind of looks like a football player, something like that. Then under that armor, she's going to have kind of like a simple battle kimono. It's not a thing, but kind of shaped like a kimono, and then tied at the waist here using one of those tall sash ribbon. On her belly here, she's got the Crimson Tribe emblem logo. It's just a circle and a smaller circle in the center. Kind of looks like a nipple. And maybe the fabric itself got a bunch of tiny circles on it. And then it's meant to be a simple armor. And so let's just go ahead and just give her like a loincloth, a long loincloth, kind of like acting as a skirt, something like that. And maybe let's add a little bit more details on these gloves, sort of padding and details here for the trim of the glove. And then we're going to slap on some basic slippers, some like Peter Pan shoes, and maybe give those a trim also. A little bit of cleanup, and there we go. We have a base character. So, you know, not super detailed yet. Pretty rough, but yeah, from a distance, I think it gives a good idea. I also drew her armor here that she took off, so that makes more sense. But I would say so far so good. So before we move on to the colors, I have another layer in here for her special power. So these people here, this tribe, when you're born a woman as a Crimson Tribe person, your life will have kind of two phases. First, your regular phase where you're conscious and you kind of just grow up normally. And then the second phase, the Berserk phase, that you enter towards the end of your conscious life. And when you go Berserk, you look something like this. Basically turning into a monster, but you're incredibly more powerful. You just have no control over your actions. Now, obviously, as a tribe, you know, you don't want every female to turn into that monster that you then probably have to get rid of because it's dangerous. And so they have rituals, you know, kind of like the Mayans that would sacrifice people. Kind of the same thing here goes on in that tribe. But she's got kind of like an in-between. So this form right here, she's not gone Berserk yet. Now she's way stronger in that form, but she can switch back and forth. How that all works and all the details, who knows? But I'm thinking it probably has to do with her anger. So as she gets stronger, you know, she'll be able to control this form a little bit better. And here we have a demonstration of her power. Maybe that's like her ultimate move. Like she's able to focus all the strength in her stomach and kind of push it out as this massive beam or something along those lines. But yeah, you know, just typical stuff with character development, just having something that's mysterious, something that like a potential that's untapped yet, some sort of mystery around the character. This is it. Now, I'm not lying, I am going to color this, but I just wanted to go quickly over the design, kind of like shape language wise, so a little bit more technical. First of all, you know, I wanted to have her hair kind of be a little frizzy at the end, so that maybe she could use her comb weapon to comb her own hair when she's bored, or as like an idle thing. But basically what we have here in terms of like shape language, we have pointy bits, so the horns, the weapon, something aggressive, sharp, kind of like the tip of her hair. But at the same time in the hair, it transitions into nice and flowy curves. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do with the design of the armor. Mostly rounded, not too spiky, so that the weapon does stand out and the hair does stand out, but at the same time not too rounded either, so that so that it works, so that the shape language remains somewhat consistent overall. So we have kind of like rounded edges here, the shoulders, rounded details here on the center, round, all around. Spike details here on the gloves, just, you know, just to tie it in with the weapon. Same thing here, a little bit of a spike down there. The shoes are pointy. Again, you know, the edges, the ends of the character in a lot of cases are pointy, so I wanted to kind of maintain that there. Not much to it otherwise. And it's always like super fun to start with a basic armor, because then you can kind of extrapolate what this is going to turn into. If it's like a level 20 armor, if it's a level 50 armor, if it's a legendary armor. Ooh. All right, let's wrap this up. So slap on some colors. I've been delaying this long enough. Color mode, activate. So this is the color palette that I'm going with for this character. I also have a little bit of gradients, subtle stuff, but just to warm it up. I'm not going to go further on this when it comes to the colors. Maybe I'll polish it a little bit later and post it on Instagram. So let me try to explain my logic when it comes to the color choice here. So basically went with mostly complementary colors. So I have my nice emerald green in here, complementary colors with the burgundy that I have for most of the outfit here. Also kind of applies to the skin color because the skin is a little bit more red. They're called the Crimson Tribe for a reason. And then playing off of that with the secondary colors, the colors that are not as important, the accent colors, yellow, purple. So pretty basic. Usually I'm going to have one main color harmony for the whole character. Like if you look at it and squint, like what you see overall, my main color harmony usually occupies about 70 to 80% of the entire character. And then the color harmony for the accent colors, that's going to be whatever's left. Has much less impact. There we go. That's a wrap. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is going to be kind of like a mini challenge. And so if you want to participate in the Draw It in Your Style challenge, just post it online with the hashtag DTYIS and tag me in your post. So either on Instagram or on Twitter. Of course, I'll try to repost all of that stuff on social media. But yeah, like I mentioned at the beginning, my favorite ones, I'll be showing them off for everyone to see here on YouTube in the future episodes. So I'm excited. So yeah, nothing too serious, just a little bit of a challenge for good fun. Now, as usual, you can grab one of my brush sets for free in the top right corner of the screen right here, or down below. If you're not already, make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss out the next episode. You know, I crank out art videos like this every single week. And also I've heard it's illegal to not be subscribed to this channel, so don't get in trouble. And finally, wait, no. Nani?